pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go
Hey guys,
that you don't
I'm
know what you've
back.
got till it's
Sorry, it's a long time. Um, yeah, if I had told you guys like everything I've dealt with over the last 2 or 3 months, you wouldn't believe me. And like people that know me and know how things go in my life, they'll be like, "Yeah, that sounds about right." So anyway, really sorry I've been away for so long. One thing I'm gonna try and do with these things in an effort to getting them out in a timely manner is I'm probably not gonna do them quite as elaborate as I've been doing them. I have a tendency to overdo things, especially like in this genre, this kind of format. So I'm just gonna try and keep it simple. I'm gonna pick some songs from the list and maybe add a little commentary as well, and then play some of that song. So anyway, sorry that it's taken so long. But my first one back, I wanted to do the recap of the Earth Day picks, which were awesome, really good stuff. And the question was to name a song with the words Earth or World in the title in honor of Earth Day. And, one of the rules that I have on this thing is like no politics, no religion, none of that crap. But this is one of the few times that I will use this tiny little soapbox just to say, it really doesn't matter, like, if you believe in global warming or whatever, it doesn't matter. Even a dog doesn't crap in its own house. So, taking care of the environment isn't, it's purely self-preservation, right? So recycle, turn off lights, take care of the limited resources that we have. Right now, we have one home, and we're lucky to have it. So take good care of it. All right. With that being said, I'm going to step off my little soapbox. All right. So the first pick is from Lee and Cam, and they chose What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. First of all, this has got to be the most optimistic, like, feel good song ever made. And Louis Armstrong, was not he's very well known for this song, but he's really a jazz musician, probably one of the best known trumpet players to ever live. And this song kind of introduced him to a new audience that then got turned on to his trumpet playing in jazz. But one of the reasons that I chose this song is when I was in college, and this is going to be a recurring motif apparently when I was looking at the notes for these songs. A lot of my commentary is going to be about associations I had with them in college, which was a really, really long time ago. One of the things that I attempted to do was always wake up on the right side of the bed. And so I set my alarm to play Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. And that's how I woke up most of college. Yeah, not all of it, but especially in the beginning. So it's a good way to wake up. I encourage it. Paula Cole covered this in 2021. She said, "It is said that one of the composers of What a Wonderful World wrote the song specifically for Louis Armstrong in the hope that it would bring people of all races together." And I think it does. That's a pretty nice piece of commentary. Um, the song was recorded and released in 1967, which is actually much later than much of Louis Armstrong's music. And in fact, it was the same year that Light My Fire was big on the chart. So it's a real dichotomy of types of music. But again, this song kind of widened Louis Armstrong's appeal. Um, let's see. Oh yeah. So apparently, the song wasn't particularly popular in the U.S. when it first released, and it was primarily because the head of ABC Records, a guy named Larry Newton, hated the song and refused to promote it. And he was looking for like more of an up tempo kind of thing from Louis Armstrong, like his follow up to Hello Dolly. And he didn't like the song, so he didn't want it played. Um, but during the recording, which they did in the middle of the night, it was a really weird recording. During the recording, he kept trying to show up to stop the recording of it, and they locked him out of the building, so he couldn't stop it. It's crazy, right? Um, yeah. So anyway, the other thing I always thought was funny is Louis Armstrong's voice, right? Like I always wondered, is that how he talked around the house? You know, like over dinner? Pass the salt. I don't know. That just always tickled me. All right, so here is Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. Thank you very much for the pick, Lee and Cam. Awesome pick. All right, thanks, guys. And again, sorry it took so long to get this out. I'll try and do better by you. All right, see ya.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ooh, yeah.
All right, so that was What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. What a really beautiful song and a great song to wake up to. Thanks for the pick, Lee and Cam. The next one is from Beth. And I noticed on Facebook you go by Elizabeth, so I apologize for continuing to call you Beth. That's just how I remember you. So if you want me to call you Elizabeth, just tell me, and I'll do that. Anyway, she chose "Mercy, Mercy Me" by Marvin Gaye, and that song actually in parentheses after that it's the Ecology, and this song came out way before climate change was a deal, and it was very progressive at the time. In fact, Marvin Gaye was signed to Motown at the time, and Barry Gordy, the head of Motown, he wanted nothing to do with this album. He didn't want Marvin Gaye to release an album that had any kind of social commentary on it because he thought it wouldn't sell, wouldn't be profitable. Turns out it was his best album ever. It also included What's Going On. Actually, I think it was the title of the album even. Yeah, so really, really amazing album, and such a great song. Um, it, it was very self-aware as well, just brutally honest, um, talking about the things that go wrong in the world and just observations of them, and that the way to fix it is to be aware of what's going on. Anyway, Mercy Mercy Me is such a good song. I love Marvin Gaye. It's a really good pick. It became a number one R&B hit and went to number four on the top 100 pop chart, and won a Grammy Hall of Fame award in 2002. So big hit. I thought this was an interesting quote from Marvin Gaye. He said, "The knowledge that we have is enough to catapult ourselves over the hurdle into super knowledge where we become super beings. But at that point, we always destroy ourselves. That will always happen because super knowledge is only for the chosen few. but the few can be a greater number. That's why I talk about it. If only we could adhere to certain laws that Mother Nature has provided. That's the key. I don't know, man. That's a lot of truth in that. So, anyway, thank you very much for the pick, Beth, Elizabeth. This is Marvin Gaye's Mercy, Mercy Me. And then in parentheses, ecology. The ecology. Sorry. All right, here we go.
Whoa, oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Whoa, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Oil wasted on the oceans and upon our seas, fish full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Radiation underground and in the sky, animals and birds who live nearby are dying. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more we use from man? Can't you stand that?
Mercy, Mercy Me by Marvin Gaye. Really awesome song. Thank you, Beth. Elizabeth? I don't know. You tell me. The next song, I mentioned earlier that some of the commentary in here was going to be kind of brought back around to me talking about my experience with it in college. And Shannon chose It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM. And, there's all kinds of stuff you could say about REM and this song in particular. It's like this crazy stream of consciousness song. Fun, right? And anybody my age will remember it probably in college. And REM was huge, like especially where I went to school, because it was near Athens, University of Georgia, which is where REM was out of. But anyway, I think it was my freshman year in college. I didn't have a car, I had a death in the family, and I had to get home that night. And the only person I could find to drive me home was this like stoner burnout in my dorm. I mean, this dude was barely conscious and his car was barely functional, right? It's like a Fred Flintstone kind of deal. So as he's racing me home that night, we're going like 80, 90 miles an hour. And we're driving through this town. And as we're approaching a red light, the brakes go out. And I have this moment in time that I remember very clearly, where as we're rushing towards this red light in the middle of the night, this song is playing, it's the end of the world as we know it. We're flying through that red light. And this burnout next to me, he goes, "Be cool, car." Car goes flying right through that red light, man. I don't remember how we stopped the car, actually, but we did. I think I wound up getting another ride, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but the part where John Candy and Steve Martin are going between those two trucks and he looks over and John Candy's the devil. That's what this was like. So anyway, there's a little fun story for you. Thank you for the pick, Shannon. I love REM. I love this song. And Lenny Bruce is Not Afraid. All right, here we go.
That's great, it starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, an airplane, and Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane, listen to yourself, churn, world serves its own needs, dummy serve your own needs, beat it up, an ox, speak, grunt, no strength, the ladder starts to clatter with fear, fight down, high wire, and a fire represented 7 games, and a government for hire, and a combat site, left to us and coming in a hurry. slash and burn, return. Listen to yourself churn. Locking in uniform and book burning, blood letting every motive escalate. Automotive incinerate. Light a candle, light a motor. Step down, watching heel crush, crush. This means no fear. Cavalier, renegade, steer clear. A tournament of lies. Offer me solutions, offer me alternatives, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. The other night I drifted nice, continental drifted by mountain, sit in a line. Leonard Bernstein, Leonard Brezhnev, Lenny Bruce and Lester Banks, birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom, you symbiotic, patriotic, slam button, that right.
All right, that was It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine by REM. And I hope you can imagine, as you can imagine the little story I told about running through the red light. Anyway, good pick. Thank you, Shannon. My next pick is from Cindy, and she chose Big Yellow Taxi. She chose the Counting Crows version, but many of you will know that this is originally a Joni Mitchell song. And man, I love Joni Mitchell. Absolutely love her. Yeah, I chose this. I mean, yeah, I like the Counting Crows. It's kind of like this whole cottage industry that arose around hating the Counting Crows. I don't know what that was about, but I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. But anyway, this remake, they actually did just kind of on a lark. It was an afterthought and originally a hidden track on their 2002 album Hard Candy. And it was only released as a single after they added Vanessa Carlton's backup vocals. And then it was in the 2003 movie 2 Weeks Notice, which apparently made it fairly popular. In fact, this song reached number 13, and it was their only top 20 single in the UK. So good thing they decided to record it. Joni Mitchell said in a interview with the LA Times, she said, "I wrote Big Yellow Taxi on my first trip to Hawaii. I took a taxi to the hotel, and when I woke up the next morning, I threw back the curtains and saw these beautiful green mountains in the distance. Then I looked down, and there was a parking lot as far as the eye could see. It was a blight on paradise." And that's when she sat down and wrote the song. I know exactly what she's talking about. What's funny, though, is the song doesn't really mention a big yellow taxi until the end. She talks about her boyfriend leaving her and he gets in a big yellow taxi. But this is probably a quintessential environmental song. Really good pick. So thank you very much, Cindy. Here is Big Yellow Taxi, the Counting Crows version. And if you have not heard Joni Mitchell's version, shame on you, and go listen to it. All right.
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum, and they charged the people $1.50 to see them. No, 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 don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? You paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, put away your DDT. I don't care about spots on my apples, leave me the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go late last night, I heard the screen door swing, and a big yellow taxi took my girl away. Now don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? To be paradise, put up a parking lot. And nah, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? To be paradise, put up a parking lot. Why not? They pay paradise to put up a parking lot. Hey, pay paradise.
Big yellow taxi. Cool pick. Thank you very much, Cindy. The last pick, as usual, is mine, and I chose John Mayer's Waiting on the World to Change. I like this song for a lot of reasons. Musically, there's some weird stuff going on in here. What's weird is there's a dichotomy to it. There's some really standard stuff going on in it musically, and then there's some weird stuff going on as well. So the chord progression is a typical blues progression that's used in a lot of blues and rock songs in the key of D. But what's weird is the second snare backbeat of the second measure is an accent on the and of the 4. And that's not going to make a lot of sense, but it's not directly on the 4. It's on the and right before the 4. And that's kind of weird. And it kind of creates this kind of an offbeat kind of feel to the song, even though it's got this really normal chord progression. It's actually a fairly easy song to play. I wouldn't want to play the percussion on it, but like from a guitar point of view, it's not difficult. This was recorded for the 2006 album Continuum. It was commercially successful and won the Grammy for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance at the 49th Grammy Awards. Yeah. So I mean, the other thing I was gonna comment about this song is I think every generation feels this way, right? Like every generation feels like they're waiting on the world to change. Don't don't wait, man. Like the easiest way to influence the world is from within. So, if you're successful, if you have a job, if you have relations in a church, whatever, right? Whatever your in is, that's how you make change, as you influence people from the inside out. And don't wait, do it now. So anyway, here is John Mayer's Waiting on the World to Change. Thanks to you guys for continuing to play. Thanks for continuing to pick amazing songs. Thank you very much for your patience. I know a lot of you have asked me when I was going to do this again. And I really enjoy doing it. Literally, there was just no time. So thank you very much for your patience. And yeah, I'll see you next week. All right. It's good to be back, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. All right. See ya. Bye.